This is the Winchester Church's Night Shelter, a charity with 12 members of staff and 17 beds to offer homeless people who have no other option of accommodation. However, despite the small size of the organisation, it is the only one of its kind in the county of Hampshire. During 2012 and 2013, the shelter managed to provide accommodation for 118 people who had nowhere else to go. However, to accommodate the 118 people, they had to turn away 479, which means for every one person that is accepted into the shelter, on average, another 4 are regrettably turned away. With the economy in the UK in its current state, people at the shelter can only see the number of applicants rising, which will lead to an even greater strain on the charity's resources and will require many more hard decisions on prioritising the guests' desperate situations. First of all, could you tell me your job role and how long you've been here?
Hi, I'm Liz Howe and I'm the project coordinator here at the Night Shelter. I've been here for 6 years now.
What are your main day-to-day jobs?
Well, when I first came in, I was employed as the administrator, but my job now has expanded so much now, and I'm really basically, I do the day-to-day running of the Night Shelter.
What motivated you to join the shelter?
Poverty will exist anywhere, even in affluent areas, I should say. And it's just it's a great feeling to know that I can actually use some of the things that I've learned. I've worked in PR marketing for about a decade, but put them to a much better use, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and that's to help raise awareness of the night shelter and to help people understand the kind of the different factors that contribute towards people being homeless, and also help people understand what we as a night shelter do.
What do you most enjoy about working here?
I think really it's when you see these people, they come in, they're absolutely rock bottom, and it's just such a privilege to work with them, to build them up on the bottom rung of the ladder and just to get them on that first step.
What do you believe is the most common cause of homelessness?
There isn't actually one cause. We have so many causes. We have relationship breakdown. We have some people that have addictions to alcohol, drugs, what have you, or maybe gambling. We get a lot of young people through, and that's normally, stepmum or stepdads kick them out of the house or they can't cope with them. Everyone that comes in, all their issues are always different. You never get two the same.
Do you often get former residents coming back to volunteer?
Yeah, I mean that does happen. Actually, people who feel that the night shelter really has kind of turned their life around to the point where they want to give something back. I think another important factor is that sometimes volunteering is a great way of getting work experience if you've come out of prison, or if you've had a history of not working for whatever reason, and you're trying to go out there and find work. It's really difficult, obviously, to do that without having any experience. So I think, we offer some volunteer work placement schemes as well for guests when they stay here. That's another important service that we offer.
Are there any other organisations that are similar to the Night Shelter in the county of Hampshire?
We need one in every town, but unfortunately we're the only one. It's actually going to get worse. With all the benefit changes and what have you, we're going to see more and more homeless people, and there's not enough facilities to help them.
What steps are taken to help the residents back on their feet?
We do everything. So the guys will come in, we will help them with all their finances, to sort their benefits out. We teach them life skills. So we've got Ali in the kitchen that does cooking sessions with them. So we do that with them. We find them housing for them. We go out and we get them to work with other agencies like George's if they have an addiction to alcohol or drugs. We have an advocate, Grant. He attends meetings with them. It might be to solicitors or doctor's appointments, what have you. We get mental health assessments done on them. We have someone a professional that does CV writing for them. And we've just set up something where they're going to now be able to go and get qualifications at Eastleigh College as well.
Being a charity, you must rely on outside funding and donations. How exactly are you funded?
Well, in terms of funding, we get funding from quite a few different sources. So the major one is supporting people and housing benefit, which is kind of central government, but we also get help from local government as well. And about a third of our donations come from private donors, so individuals who fundraise for us. And there's a few other very smaller smaller sources of funding.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
You know, it's just fantastic that we can get alongside these people and help them. Can be frustrating. We had one guy that came in, he's been in and out with us and has been in and out of prison, and it's just a cycle. He gets stuck in this cycle, and the longest time he was out of prison was for 3 weeks.
What exactly is sanctioning?
No, sanctions as in with their benefits. So he had no benefits for 3 months, and we're seeing a lot of people now getting sanctioned with their benefits. Yes, my experience, well, we always say to people, never ever ever give anyone money. We do have some people that are housed locally that will be out on the street begging, saying it's for the night shelter. Mm-hmm. They are actually housed and they are actually begging for their addiction. We don't have any of our guys out begging. We quietly sort that issue within, and we'll never ever turn anyone away, even if they don't have money. They get sanctioned for 3 months, they have no income, we never turn people away.
Could you tell us about your experience before you became resident at the night shelter?
I lived on a Scottish island with a family. I have 2 children and a mother and a dog. And I was running a croft, which is a small holding kind of agricultural business.
What changed?
That relationship became awkward and it finished. So I was moved back down here. I moved back down to England, where my sort of story of homelessness really begins. Actually, I was no fixed abode and sofa surfing.
What is sofa surfing?
Sleeping on people's floors, bumming a bed wherever you can, so that you don't get, cold, wet and tired.
How did you come across the night shelter?
It's funny, I didn't really know what a night shelter was. I had no idea. I didn't know where they were or what they did or how they functioned or how to find one. But when I needed the information, it was there. And I phoned around and I got a call back from Liz.
How did the night shelter help you?
While I was resident here, there's a few things that really sort of were key. There's a very good counselling service that's operated from here, and the counselling staff are excellent. I found them to be very good. I think there's a certain amount of personal development as well. I mean, by the time I got here and I was offered counselling, I was probably in a place where I kind of accepted that I needed help. By the time you put your hand up and say, I need help from a night shelter, I was kind of beaten, So I was in the right place to access support, and the right support was provided for me. They sort of identify my housing needs and found the right housing. I'm now resident at Keystone Housing Association, and it's worked well for me. My life is a lot better today.
Anything else you'd like to add?
When we need help, it's comforting to know that actually there is help in an otherwise bizarre world.